In this video, we are going to learn how to set up Webhook Trigger in Coda for Pabbly Connect. So today we are going to discuss how you can set up a Webhook URL in your Coda account so that whenever a new data is added to a doc in Coda, automatically that same doc or same details will be received inside Pabbly Connect under trigger window, and we will be triggering our automation workflow. Let's say, for example, we are adding some details of a new contact in Coda, and we want that whenever we add those details, with the same details, those people should be added as subscriber in Klaviyo. So we are going to see how you can automate this process, where we are going to get new data whenever it is added in Coda using the Webhook URL which we are going to add. And after getting those contact details, we are going to send that same data to Klaviyo using Pabbly Connect, and we are going to create the subscriber over there. So if you want to know how you can set up this automation, for that you just have to come with me to my screen.
So as you can see, here we are on my Coda account. And in my Coda account, I have created this doc. So let's say this is the doc which I have created in which I'm adding the details of a new contact. I have added a table where I'm entering the details of the users, the first name, last name, email, and phone number. Now I want to set up an automation in such a way that whenever in this table a new row of contact details is added, details of a new user is added, using those details that person should be added as a subscriber in my Klaviyo account. So to achieve this, we are going to set up an automation between Coda and Klaviyo using Pabbly Connect. So here you can see that we are on Pabbly Connect's dashboard, and to reach this dashboard, you will get a free sign-up link of Pabbly Connect in the description box below. By clicking on that link, you can create your free Pabbly Connect account in just 2 minutes. And after reaching to this dashboard, just click on Create Workflow and give this workflow a name. For example, I would like to name a workflow as Coda to Klaviyo. And then just click on Create. After clicking on Create, here you can see a workflow is open over here. And in this workflow, you can see 2 different windows. First one is the trigger window and second one is the action window. So triggers and actions are basically those 2 concepts, those 2 principles on which this whole automation works on, where the trigger says when this happens and the action says do this. So let's start with our trigger window. Now the idea here is, first we have to connect our Coda account with Pabbly Connect in the trigger window, and that too using a Webhook URL, so that whenever a new row of data is added in our Coda doc, automatically, instantly within few seconds, that newly added data should be received inside Pabbly Connect and this automation workflow should trigger. But as of now, we don't have any direct option to add a Webhook URL in our Coda account. So what we are going to do, we are going to add a pack in our Coda doc. First, in our Pabbly Connect workflow, in this trigger window, select Webhook. After selecting Webhook by Pabbly, here you can see Pabbly Connect gave us a Webhook URL. Now we have to add this Webhook URL in this doc which we have created in Coda. And to add this Webhook URL, first we are going to add a pack in this doc. So I want to send the data from this doc to Pabbly Connect. So after opening this doc, on the right side you can see this insert option. Just click on insert, and after that from the right sidebar you can see this option of packs. Click on packs. After coming to this packs page, here in search bar, we have to search for Pabbly, Pabbly. And here you can see Pabbly Webhooks, this pack over here. Just select this pack and then click on this Add to Doc for Free button. After clicking on this pack is now successfully added in our Coda account in this particular doc. After adding this pack, here you can see I have a table of data. And I want that whenever a new row of data, new row of user details is added in this table, then I want to send those details to Pabbly Connect. So now to make this happen, what we are going to do, we are going to add a new column over here in this table. And whenever we are going to add a new row of data, in that column, we are going to add a button. So whenever you are going to click on that button, the data of that complete row will be sent to the Webhook URL given by Pabbly Connect. So let's add this column over here. Click on this Add Column button, and after that, here in Choose Column Type, here we will scroll down and go to this Pack section. When you hover on Packs, here you can see an option named as Pabbly Webhook under Installed Pack. Just hover on it and click on this Trigger Webhook over here. After selecting Trigger Webhook, this type of column is added in this table. And then here you can see a drop down to configure all the settings, all the details related to this new column, this new button which we have added. By default, it has selected on-click trigger webhook, and then in the next field, it is asking us for the webhook URL. Now here guys, in this field of webhook URL, we have to copy the webhook URL given by Pabbly Connect and then just paste it over here. After pasting this webhook URL, the next thing it asks us is this results column. That after updating or sending the data of this row, in which column it should update the result, whether the data is successfully sent or not. So what we are going to do, we will just add another column of result. So I'll just name it as result. And after naming this, we are just going to select that particular column over here. Just right click on this. And then here in configuration, in result column from the drop down, select the column of result. Then just click on this add more button. Go to additional options, just click on it and click on this add button. Now here after clicking on this add button, here you can see there are two fields added. The first one is the key field and the second one is the value field. Now here in this key field and value field, we have to basically select the options, select the values which we want to send using this webhook URL. So from this complete row, what are the field, what are the details we want to send to this webhook URL, means to Pabbly Connect. We have to select or configure those fields in this key value pair. Here in key, we are going to enter the label of the data. Like here in this first response, we are going to send the first name. So I will enter the key as first name. And here in value, whatever first name we are going to have in this column of first name, when we add a new row of data, that value will be added. And to add this value, we have to basically map this response over here. So here in this value field, we just have to type equals to button, and after clicking on equals to button, here you can see this pop-up appears. And in this pop-up on the left side, you can see name of all the columns which we have added in this table. So here in front of first name, we want to send the data which we will be having in this column named as first name in the new row of data which we have added. So just select first name and then just click on enter. So we are going to send a label named as first name, and in that label, we are going to send the value which we will be having in this column of newly added row. Then after that, just click on this add button and we are going to add another key value pair. This time the key will be last name. So I want to send the last name and the key name will be last name as well. So I'm entering last name, and here in value, once again we'll press on this equals to button and we are going to select and map the response of the data from column of last name. Here it is as you can see, and click on enter. Click on add button and the next field, the next key will be email. So I'm going to enter email over here, and in value, we are going to map the data from row of email address. And at last, phone number. So we are going to add another key as phone number. And then in value, we are going to map the response of phone number over here. In this way, if you have more data, you can basically just keep on adding these fields, key value pairs, and map the data of your choice which you want to send to Pabbly Connect. Now after that, we have selected the result column. So in this result column, after sending the data, the status will be updated. Then it is asking us the label. So here, the label of this button is trigger webhook. If you want, you can give any label. You can select any other icon as well. For example, I can select this icon of webhook. So you can add this icon as well, or you can select any color of your choice. So in this way, you can see just now we have basically added this button in this table. We have added a new column of this button. Now, whenever a new row of data will be added in this table, automatically this button will be there in front of it. And when we will click on this button, the data of that row will be sent to Pabbly Connect. All the data which we have created in key value field, that data will be sent to Pabbly Connect. And here in our Pabbly Connect workflow, you can see it is showing us waiting for webhook response. So this means Pabbly Connect is waiting to get some response, some details on this webhook URL. So we will just click on this trigger webhook button once. We have just clicked on it. And now it is going to send all of this data of this row which we have added in key value pair to Pabbly Connect. And it is sent. The result is automatically updated as success. And here in our Pabbly Connect workflow, you can see in this trigger window, we have received some response. And in this response, you can see the same key value pair, the same data which we have received. You can see the first name over here as first name. You can see the data of last name, that was user over here. You can see the same email and same mobile number, same phone number which we have added. So whatever key value pair we are going to enter while configuring it, the same key value pair, the same map data of the same columns will be sent to Pabbly Connect. Now, after adding this button over here, which sends the data of new row to Pabbly Connect, we have to ensure that only the data of newly added row should be sent. The data of old rows, which we have already sent to Pabbly Connect, we don't send the same data again. Now to ensure this, just click on this trigger webhook button, just right click on it, and here the button settings open up. We will just scroll down and at last you can see this option of advanced. Just click on it and under advanced you can see this option of disable if. So we are going to set up a condition over here that if the result of this row is success, if the result of sending this data to Pabbly Connect is success, in that case this trigger webhook button for that particular row will be disabled. Now to add this condition, click on this add condition button and here in the drop down it is asking us to select a column. Select the column of result which we have added and here in filter type it is by default contains. Just click here and from the drop down select is equals to. And after that write success over here. And it is done. So we have added a condition that if we have the success status in this result column, then the data of that row will not be sent. The trigger webhook button for that row will be disabled. As you can see, it has been disabled over here. In this way, we have ensured that the data of the same row will not be sent to Pabbly Connect again. Now after this, here you can see we have a manual process over here. We have successfully added this button, but we have a manual process of pressing this button every time a new row of data is added. But what if I tell you that you can automate the process of pressing this button for a new row of data as well? Yes, you can set up a simple automation in Coda itself. To set it up, just click on this settings option and here under that you can see automations over here. Just click on it. Under automations, click on this add rule button and give this rule a name. I would like to name my rule as Pabbly Connect. After naming it, here the first thing it asks us is when, where we have to select the trigger. So just click here, from the drop down, select row changed as the trigger. Then it is asking us for the table, so from the drop down, we are going to select the same table in which we have added this button. And then it is asking us for the column. So here in the drop down, you can see a list of all the columns which we have created in this table. So we are going to select the column as phone number. So whatever column you have just before this trigger webhook button, we have to select that column over here. Let's say you have 10 columns in your table. Then you add 2 more columns of trigger webhook and result. So the column which you will be having just before the trigger webhook, you can select that column. That whenever the data is added to that column, then this automation which we are going to set up in Coda will trigger. After this, after setting up when, we will come to this then section. And under then section, just click on this select an action button and here you can see a list of different actions. Out of all of this, we have an action named as push buttons. Just select this action over here. Then after selecting this push buttons action, it is asking us to select the button. So from the drop down, we are going to select this trigger webhook button, the same button which we have added. And it is done. Just click on this test rule button. And yes, here you can see that we have received the response as success over here. Now after this, after testing this automation, just scroll up and we have to turn this automation on. By default, it is off. We have to turn this button to the right side and we have to switch it on over here. And guys, now this means this automation which we have created is also working fine. Now, whenever we are going to add a new row of data in this table, automatically the automation created in Coda will trigger and it will click or it will push the trigger webhook button in that row. And as we click on trigger webhook, the data of that newly added row will be received inside Pabbly Connect. So setting up this webhook for Coda is completed. Now after this, what we want to do, after getting the details of a new contact from Coda inside Pabbly Connect, we want to set up the Pabbly Connect automation using which we are going to send the details of this user, this contact to Klaviyo, so that we can basically add this person as a subscriber in our Klaviyo account. For that, we will just scroll down and come to this action window. And here in choose app, we are going to search for Klaviyo. Just select it. After selecting Klaviyo in action event from the drop down, select the action event as add subscriber with basic details. Then just click on connect and select add new connection. Now here guys, we have to connect our Klaviyo account with Pabbly Connect. And to make this connection, we have to basically enter the public API key and private API key of our Klaviyo account. Now you must be thinking how you can get this public API key and private API key. So to get it, just go to your Klaviyo account. From the left sidebar, go to this profile section and go to settings. After coming to the settings page, here you can see an option named as API keys. Just click on it and here you can see the public API key and private API key of your Klaviyo account. Just copy this public API key from here, go to Pabbly Connect and paste it over here. After pasting this public API key, we'll get back to Klaviyo and here you can see the private API keys. If you want, you can create a new private API key button. Just click on this Create Private API Key button, select Grant Application Full Access for every API scope and give this API key a name. For example, I would like to name my API key as Pabbly Connect. You can give any name of your choice and then just click on Create. Now as we click on Create, this private API key is created over here. Just copy this from here, go to Pabbly Connect and paste it over here. And after pasting this, just click on Save. Now when we click on Save, here you can see our Klaviyo account will get connected with Pabbly Connect. After making this connection, the first thing it asks us is the list. And in the drop down, you can see all the subscriber list which we have in our Klaviyo account can be seen over here. Out of all of this, in which particular subscriber list we want to add this subscriber, we have to select that list over here. So I have a list named as new contacts from Coda. I want to add this subscriber whose details we are adding in Coda to this subscriber list in Klaviyo. So I'm going to select that list over here. After list, it is asking us email, that what is the email address of this new subscriber that we are creating. So we have received the email address of the subscriber of the contact from Coda. So in Coda, in this table, we have added the details of the person and we have received that data inside Pabbly Connect's trigger window. So from this trigger responses which we have received from Coda, we are going to map this response of email address in this email field. Just click here and from the drop down, you can see a list of all the webhook responses which we have received from Coda. And out of all of these responses, select this response of email address and it will be mapped. After email, it is asking us first name and last name. So here guys, we have to basically use the same process of mapping and map the first name and last name of the contact as well, which we have received from Coda. Just click here. From the drop down from webhook responses, select the response of first name and it will be mapped. Then let's map the response of last name as well. In this way, whatever details of a new contact we are going to add in this table, in this doc in our Coda account, the same details will be received inside Pabbly Connect, and using Pabbly Connect, we are going to send the same details to Klaviyo as well. After mapping all of these details, just click on Save and Send Test Request. Now when we click on Save and Send Test Request, here you can see we have received a response and this response is a blank response. But this response seems to be a positive response to us. This response shows that the user whose details we have mapped over here, basically the contact whose details we have added in this table in Coda, automatically this contact is now added as a subscriber in our Klaviyo account. So let's check it. We will go to our Klaviyo account, we will go to the audience list section and we will open up the same list which we have selected, new contacts from Coda. And yes guys, here you can see that demo user, the same person whose details we have added in our Coda account, the same person with the same details, same name and same email address has been added as a subscriber in our Klaviyo account. This means the automation workflow which we have created using Pabbly Connect, this automation is working perfectly fine. So in this automation, using Webhook by Pabbly, you can receive the new data which we are adding in our Coda doc. And using that data, you can create a subscriber, you can add that person as a subscriber in our Klaviyo account. Now after setting up this automation, let's test this automation workflow once. We will go to our Coda doc and we are going to add a new row of user details over here. For example, the name of the person is test user. This is the email address. And then this is a dummy mobile number which we are going to enter. And it is done. We have just now added a new row of user details in this table in Coda. And as you can see, as we add these details, automatically the automation which we have created in Coda is triggered. As we add a new row of data, that automation is triggered and it has pressed this trigger webhook button automatically. And as this trigger webhook button is pressed, the data of this newly added row is sent to Pabbly Connect. And using this Pabbly Connect's automation and the same details received from Coda, that person with the same contact details, this contact is added as a subscriber in our Klaviyo account. So let's check it. We will go to a Klaviyo account, and yes, here you can see that test user, the same person whose details we have added, the same contact whose details we have just now added in Coda, the same contact has been added as a subscriber in our Klaviyo account. So here you can see the same name and the same email address. So here guys, we have tested this automation in real time and this automation is working perfectly fine. So not just these applications, you can connect plenty of other applications with Pabbly Connect. And one more important thing, you will find the clone link of this exact same workflow in the description box below. By clicking on that link, you can clone this same workflow into your own Pabbly Connect account and use this automation workflow for free.
If you have any kind of doubts or queries, you can post them on forum.pabbly.com. So if this video was helpful to you, you can obviously like this video, comment down your suggestions, and don't forget to share it with others. So guys, that's it for today's video. Thank you. Have a great day.